what is up, stream and future viewers on YouTube?
What's up,
With us
boys?
here today is going to be the Season 4 Discord tier team Tailwind, and we can talk a little bit more about, because you guys are a technically new team, but you guys were just letting me know that Harmony and Chaos was kind of your roots.
Yeah, some of us are from two teams, so they're like two players that are from Infamous Gaming, and some others are from Harmony Chaos.
So talk to us a
So
little
yeah,
bit more about what Tailwind is then in regards to those two teams and anything else.
So I can
um,
answer that.
wait, what do you mean by like uh, like what Tailwind is? Like the meaning of the name, or like?
Well, you could do that, or more like literally, like what is this new team Tailwind? Like everybody kind of has like a brand about the names when it comes to like especially returning teams about who they are. They're like some of them are coattails of a previous team, like Animus of like Invictus, or Uncommitted of Commit, or Caliber of also Commit. So it's like what are you guys? Are you guys Infius X Harmony and Chaos? Are you you're your own
Uh,
new thing? What's going on?
yeah, we're a whole new thing. It's just we brought like I was in Harmony and Chaos, and I brought Poggers and Ease with me because I asked them, hey, do you guys want to join this new team with me? That me and my friend from real life, he was asking me if I want to join his team. So I was like, yeah, I'll join your new team. And so I asked people from Harmony and Chaos and brought them over to Tailwind. And then we did a tryout, and we got some people from Infamous Gaming that joined us. So that's all the roster was made. It's mostly like
It's
Infamous
funny
Gaming
though.
players that came from a tryout, and people that I recruited from my team.
It's funny
Harmony
though,
and Chaos.
because like like during the season, like we always trolled about it. Like if we lose a map or like we get like like beat down in a game or something, we're like so it would go like yo you're off the team, like not like off of Harmony and Chaos, but like off of like the
Tailwind, yeah.
the tailwind that's upcoming. But it was always a
Mm,
meme and like we were trolling. Like it's like it wasn't really serious. So then like one day Sui like talked about it and I was like, man, I don't know, like let's just see what happens. And then like the season's done and then he's like, yo, like this team is happening. And I told him I'm like, man, I'd love to go, but if Eve's not going, I'm not going. And then he messaged Eves and Eve's like, yeah, I'm down. And then like a love triangle a little bit, you know?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, uh, I asked Eves, and he told me like wherever I'm going, he's going. So I was like, all right. And then I think you said the same thing, Parkers.
Yeah, so the same thing too.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah, these two guys are coming to Delma with me, and we're gonna, pop off.
So about how long is like this whole Tailwind like idea, and maybe even more like concretely like a team, been in the works?
Um, s- we've been well, Tailwind was a thing last summer, summer of 2019.
Mhm.
It was supposed to be a team, but there was some roster complications. Um, like people want to show up and stuff, so we backed out of season 3. So we were supposed to be a team, Tailwind. So until now, we made Tailwind for
Gotcha.
season 4. Yeah.
Okay. How what got you like interested in the Trank community?
Well, what got me interested was my friend brought it up to me. Like he was like, uh I know him. His name is Mike. He's our GM for Tailwind. Um, he asked me after like graduation and everything. He's like, "Hey, Sway, you're like really fucking good at Overwatch. You should join my team." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm down. Whatever. I don't really have anything to do over the summer. I'm not really taking any classes." So I went over and joined the team, see how it was, cause like that over the summer when I first joined Tailwind, that was like the first team like thing I ever did, like ever. So it was like a new experience for me. And it was really fun. So I just like kept joining teams over and over and over. And that's how I really got into Trank. My friend introduced it to me.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. And is that, and then what about you, Uh,
Poggers.
Poggers, yeah.
For me, like, it was weird. I saw it on Reddit. Like, funny enough, like, I saw like it was Enfius Gaming that put up a posting about how like they're looking for a head scan player, and I thought about it for a bit. Like, me and my friend were like, yo, I think we should do like go try out or whatever. And then like at one point, I ended up seeing the Harmony and Chaos one, and I messaged them, which ended up being Handyfab, which is their manager for Harmony and Chaos. So I had a tryout, and then like tryout comes, and I'm just like, well, I'm not gonna take this seriously. I'm just gonna like see how it is, then go from there. I had no idea what Trank was at that time, and like tryout happens, and then like the next day, like Handy messages me, he's like, "Yo, bro, like you're on the team. It's like you did really well, blah blah blah, whatever." And I was like, I'm like, holy shit, like damn, like it's pretty cool. And then like me and him were just in a Discord call, and he actually explains how like how everything goes down in Trank, and like I was like, man, like it's actually crazy that people are like actually made like a community out of this, you know. So it was pretty interesting. And then I think like within the same week, Sway joined as well, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's how we met. During the same week, and then we just kept winning after that.
And then we
And
did
then
make
we just,
playoffs.
yeah, we didn't make playoffs. Unlucky. It's fine though.
Gotcha. Well, that's pretty cool. What kind of style would you say that like Tailwind's gonna bring us in season four? Like I know a lot of people are really shaken up by like the meta potentially changing because you know so many people put so much time into like the double barrier Hanzo Mei Bap Zen, but like it's looking. I mean, I don't know what it's looking like, but it looks different. I guess is what I should leave it at. So what kind of style do you guys prefer? Whether it be like brawl, dive, shields, or something creative that you can tell me about on the spot?
Honestly, our roster, it shows a lot of flexibility, ability. Sorry.
Mhm.
So we can literally play anything. Like we can play ball, diva. We can play like Ryan Zarya, diva monkey, like anything. We could do anything we want, because our roster is just based off flexibility. But I feel like the best thing we could do right now, since like meta changed and everything, double shield's like no longer here. We could go for dive, like a lot, because we have a good, really good ball player. We have a good Genji player, a widow player, can run double sniper. So
It's funny though, like I remember like the other like players on our team, like there's Soli and Aurora that came from Infius. Like one day, like it was us four on the call, and like we had a scrim or whatever, and like I realized I was talking to Sway, I'm like, man, like these guys are literally just like us. Like if you look at like the characters that Soli plays, like me and him almost share the exact same characters. Same with Sway and Aurora, and it was pretty funny. Like I was like, man, we're kind of like I was telling Sway, we're like a budget version of them. So
yeah.
it's pretty funny to like you just look in the mirror and like I'm like holy, I'm like it's like having like the same person. You know, you're playing with the same person. So I don't know, it's pretty cool. And they're trolls. I like that too.
As a
Yeah.
team, is there like anything that you guys came from, whether it be like CS:GO or just straight from Overwatch or console or anything like? Is there anything before Tailwind that you guys or any of you were invested in as a unit or maybe just as individuals?
Not as a unit, because most of us met recently, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But like individually for me, like I played a lot of CS:GO. I played a bunch of different games. I came from console. I played like the classic Call of Duty and stuff like that, Battlefield, um, and I had a few sports game here and there, like stuff like FIFA or whatever, but with friends and stuff. But mostly I was playing Call of Duty and like shooters. I've always played shooters. And then like one day when I got my first PC, like I was all into like battle royales and stuff. And some of my like IRL friends were telling me you should get Overwatch, and I didn't really like it at first because like we're six stacking quick play or whatever, and like I was like I kind of didn't know what was going on, so they forced me onto Lucio. So like I was just playing Lucio the whole time, and I just thought, I'm like, man, this character is really boring. I can't stand it. So and then I started playing Soldier, and I started playing like different characters here and there, and you know, like almost 1,000 hours later, here I am.
Swaley, how about you?
Uh, well, it's like I came from console as well. I never really played anything like competitive. Like I played Call of Duty like really how do you say casually, Battlefield and all that, like all first person games. The the first competitive game I really got into was Overwatch, and it was because of the same friend as well, Mike. Is like we met on console. Well, we didn't meet on console. We like met him at school. We both had PS4s, and we're like, hey, you wanna play some Overwatch? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play whatever. And so we queued up, landed in silver on console, and then just went on from there. Back in 2017.
Silver
Oh,
trash can.
Masters now. Come on.
That's pretty cool. I think a lot of us came from console. Or any people, or not? I shouldn't say not any people, but there's a lot of people. It seems like that got hooked on Overwatch or something else, then made the switch to PC, especially like shooters to like get that higher octane gameplay, like myself included. So it's pretty cool to just see where everybody kind of planted, and then jumped off from there. Being very similar, where I got on console because of a friend. I actually tried to get good at Battleborn, if anybody remembers what that was, but it was that rival game
Oh,
of
did I?
Overwatch.
Yeah, I played that too.
Yeah, I loved it. I still think it's really cool, but it was definitely like so far beneath what Blizzard was able to
Yeah.
push out. So I was like, I got it. So I was like, my friend was like, come play Overwatch, and we landed in gold as a duo queue, and then, like you said, Masters now, but it was pretty bad at the
Hmm.
time on Xbox. But it's super interesting how many people seem to follow that same trajectory of hop on with a friend and then just go from there, which is it's
Hmm.
neat.
But it's
Um,
funny though.
oh, go
uh,
ahead.
Just to add to that point, like it's funny like what Overwatch does. Like like a lot of us like on our team, like we play all the time. Sometimes we'll duo, trio. Sometimes we'll solo queue. And like I remember like when I first started playing the game, like it was all cool and all. It was like silver, gold, whatever. And like I never tilted ever. I was like, yeah, we lost, like whatever, like GG, go next. And then like you meet those kids or like you meet those people who just like tilt the face off the earth, and then like I feel like you play like some people like you play enough Overwatch that you end up becoming that person, and then you just start tilting and stuff. And I don't know, I don't know. Overwatch is it's a weird game. Sometimes I hate it. Sometimes I think it's the best game ever.
Yeah, that's something I think we all have to make a little bit of peace with, where like at least for me, it's kind of like a drug where it's like when I'm doing really well, I feel normal. I'm like, okay, cool. This is how gaming feels. I'm not like super high up there, but like I'm definitely like feeling good. And then when it's low, I'm like, I just need to get back to where I just was feeling good, like, or else I'm gonna freak out. I can never like leave comp on like a loss, or I'm just gonna get into like a bad mental, and I don't like that. I've gotten better at it, obviously. I feel like it's something that you have to grow as like as a gamer to get used to just taking the L and being cool with it. But the competitive drive compels me forward. But
Yeah, I'm reformed now.
but if not Overwatch, what would you guys be playing? Whether it could be as a team if you just know the answer there, or just individually.
We've been playing Monopoly.
Monopoly, cool.
Oh my god, it's like it's the funniest thing because like a lot of it, like we have like in our Discord we have a bunch of people playing Monopoly, and it's like I didn't think Monopoly could get so competitive. You know what I mean? It's like we have like someone that was on Harmony Accounts before, like Max, and like he likes to get the railroads on Monopoly, and like a lot of us are just like, look, we're not letting you go for cheap. Just make sure he doesn't get it, and we're all super competitive. Like, not to the point where we're screaming at each other, but like we're trolling each other, like just like causing havoc. It's pretty funny.
Have you played
Uh,
the Nintendo version, Fortune Street? It's very interesting if you haven't.
No, what is it?
It's just Monopoly, but with Nintendo characters and like a little bit more gimmicks, kind of like how Mario Party is. So it's like a combo between like Mario Party and Monopoly. I highly recommend it. It's, of course, you can go emulate it for free and use online, like the fake Nintendo servers, and you can play with your friends. But obviously, that don't do that. That's not how we should do. Is use free game services. Don't go buy it and all go over to your friend's house and play Wii like the
It's
normal
for
way.
educational purposes.
Yeah. So, but I would recommend that. But Swaley, you're about to say something before I interjected.
Yeah. This is a game that me and my friends that we used to play like a lot. I mean, we still do. Well, I don't because I got into Overwatch even more. We used to play like a lot of Rainbow Six Siege,
Mm.
and we got into it like really competitively. We would just play that every single day. Uh, we would go into like a 5 stack every day, um, and try to become like better at it. Better to the point where we got to like plat and to diamond from there. And then after that I just stopped playing. But if Overwatch was in there, I'd probably still be playing either League or Rainbow Six Siege.
I think there's a R6 game on right now. I think FaZe versus Team Liquid is what I was just watching. So it's interesting that you say that. But yeah, R6 is I'm a little too smooth brain for it, I'll be real, but it's super fun.
Yeah, it's really fun
I got
as long as you
hard
don't.
carried to diamond and then I never played again.
Lol. I bought it, barely played. Can't stand it.
I try to get him into it, but he just won't.
It's a hard game to get somebody
Yeah.
into. It is such a high skill ceiling because you're just getting pixel peeked and you don't know where any of the defensive setups are, so you're just getting wall banged. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch of words you don't know and a lot of gamers that are just grinding the game. So like I get it, but I remember on release I thought it was the most fun game I'd ever played because everybody was equally dumb like me and we were all just running around in this sandbox grid map and just blowing each other up.
Lol.
So, but yeah, no, I think that's cool. League on the other hand I just can't get the hang of it. Too
Yeah,
many
I can't either. Yeah.
the
It's
items are
hard.
what throw me off. I'll
Yeah,
be real.
you just have to look up a guide. It's just like
Yeah.
there's like some guides out there.
Well, like
That's
there
what I
is like
did.
there is like a Blizzard variant of it, Heroes of the Storm, which doesn't require items.
Yeah, skill tree. Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
a lot.
But then again, it's a dead game, so it's kind of like
It's dead.
yeah, it's a
Well,
dead game.
not actually dead, unlike a game I thought was great at the time. The only MOBA I ever got into was Paragon, which was the Epic
Oh
Games
yeah.
one. Oh my gosh, it
Yeah.
was so fun. But then Wukong and a bunch of other characters broke the game, and then they killed the server because Fortnite was making too much money. So I was like, whatever. It
They're
was so
making
fun
an
though.
alpha of it.
Really?
Remaking it. Yeah, yeah.
No way.
I,
Okay, bye
Yeah.
Overwatch.
Fireball.
That game was
Number
so much
Overwatch 2.
fun. The
have you guys
supports in that game, I love support as like a role in most games, but I hate it in Overwatch because I think it's too powerful. But in Paragon, there was this one character that had like a tether that you could put on somebody, and you could yank them out of lane and back to you. And we used
Oh
to
yeah.
dive under a tower with that oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I loved that game.
Like when my friend first showed me that character, I thought it was gonna be really trolly. Like it's like you and your friends would play, and then you just like you going in, and your friend just pulls you back in. You're like,
Yeah.
what the heck, dude?
Oh my gosh. But back to the topic. But no, dude. The minute I'm looking that up, the minute
Yeah, you
I get
should.
out of here, because I grinded that game because it was so much fun. But anyway, uh, so uh, who on the team is like I don't want to say cheerleader, but like who's keeping everybody's spirits up in those do or die moments of like, oh man, I don't know if we can win this one, or oh we just took this massive L and I'm going to bed angry. Who's the guy who's bringing it back?
Okay, so like we recently we played a few OD games like Open Division and even like scrims, and like we didn't have that person, so we like made a vote. Like a team captain, we voted for Sway Lee, but like I don't want to say we all have like big egos, but like we're just super competitive, you know, all of us. You know what I mean? Like there isn't somebody slacking off. There isn't somebody just kind of like, you know, laying back on his chair, just like, well, I'm just gonna do this and, you know, f off for the rest of the game. You know, so it's like I don't know, kind of when we're down, like obviously there's Sway, there is Aurora, Psych also as well. That was on our team at the time. Yeah, I don't know.
It's
It's
just
definitely not me though. That's for sure. Definitely not me. When I tilt, I just don't talk. I just
I
mute
feel like
myself.
we like each of us have our moments in bringing each other back. It's usually sometimes it's you poggers or sometimes Nana, sometimes it's me, but mostly you. I feel but yeah.
It's just like if I see somebody else on the team that's like his tilt meter is going up, like, you know, I can just like, you know, tell him a few words or whatever, or kind of like just like, yo, chill, relax, like, you know, we're still gonna win or whatever. But the thing is, like, when I start to get tilted, example, like last week we had a scrim, and obviously I'm used to being a May bot or like a Hanzo bot, you know. So we're playing against a Junkrat, and like it got to the point where like I mute myself, but like I just wasn't talking. And if I see Junkrat, I'm killing him. You know, and I'm not toxic to the point where I'll teabag somebody, but like it was trying to piss me off. Like at one point he got a 5-man rip tire, and then he got a 2-man rip tire, 3-man rip tire. And then like in our comms, I'm just screaming, somebody kill this Junkrat, please, please, please. And then at one point, like I do this thing where like I just tap my mouse onto my desk. So like all you hear is like a little like click 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 click, and like that's when you kind of know like the tilt is going on.
You're getting a little antsy.
Oh yeah. And everybody felt like that about that Junkrat. It's not that he wasn't like the greatest Junkrat I've ever seen, but he was just annoying. It was different, you know. Like we're used to just playing Mei Hanzo, you know. So, but yeah,
Now it's changed. It's something else now. So now we can actually have fun. You know, it's not breakable shields anymore.
Yeah,
Actual interactive gameplay.
I'm ready for an actually fun game.
Yeah. Me and Powers was just playing a couple of games, and
it was weird.
it feels like the game is actually, you know, it feels more interactive, feels more competitive, you know. It's like I'm actually playing instead of just standing there and pressing left click, you know. It's something better, I feel like.
I just
And
miss.
honestly, this is what the game needed. Sorry.
The thing is, I main DPS, but like I've been playing a lot of tank lately, and like I miss Sigma. Like it's not that I miss Sigma. It's just like I don't know. I was starting to like it. It was fun. Like I was actually getting pretty good at him, and like you know, just seeing a Mei run at you and trying to freeze you, and just rock her, and she dies. Like it's, you know, it's just destroying kids in ladder. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's. I think that's the one casualty really coming out of this meta. I guess there's two really. I'd say like Zen potentially leaving the main group of healers because like I mean he was kind of riding the coattails of Bap, but still it's like I really liked Zen. But Sig on the other hand, he's like I was upset by Sig. It was more of just everybody else besides him and Zen that really was getting on people's nerves on my team or specifically me. I personally don't have an issue with like Hanzo or Bap because I play a lot of Wrecking Ball and Bap's kind of bad against me. But Orisa and Mei, I really hope they stay dead for a little bit because is it frustrating sometimes where all your value is gone. But I really am wondering what the because like everyone's not everyone, but a lot of people are saying like Ryan Diva are looking like a really powerful meta duo. Or if the other team's not running Mei, then potentially popping in Wrecking Ball for either one of those slots because of how good he is when he's not stopped by, freeze or any other like really powerful CC. So I wonder what other characters will synergize well with Ryan Diva. I mean, there's always been like Lucio synergized with Ryan, or if they're going on dives, then maybe with the Diva you could have like a Pharah or Doom or Tracer or something crazy.
The thing is that like I didn't think the Diva like 3-second boosters was crazy until like we did a quick play, right? So like a lot of people on our team like created alt accounts for our favorite heroes. So like I'm a soldier one trick. Sway's playing Owl Monkey. We have Syke playing Ana. We have like a Genji player. We have like a Hanzo player. And like Diva's diving me, and I'm playing soldier. And I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna run away. And then like she was chasing me the whole game. I played against it like she was a decent Diva, and the whole game she was chasing me. I'm like, man, like get the fuck off me. Like let me just play the game. And it's like I know Soldier's not like in the best state, but you know, it wouldn't be bad if Diva was back to her like 5 or 6 second boosters, whatever the hell she had before. Honestly, can't stand her.
Yeah, as a Winston, uh, lover, it feels a little weird that your off tank has pretty much your ult on cooldown from what it feels like.
Yeah, you should teach Sway to play monkey. He's a feeder.
Mm. I mean, I'm always down to tank coach, but only if people really want me to, because it's
No, trust me.
yeah, it's sometimes can get rough.
It's
But
funny. Sway does this thing. Like, sorry to
no, you're
interrupt, but
good.
Sway does this thing when we're playing competitive, and like double shield's not working out. He's like, I'm going monkey. I'm going monkey, and then and then he just dives in, and then like sometimes like I'll give you a credit. Sometimes he goes in, just like cleans up the fight, or like takes over the game. But like there's these times where like he just dives in. I'm just like, oh boy, here he goes again. Oh monkey.
Here I go killing again. And I
There he
mean,
goes feeding again.
I hope we see more. I hope we see just a more interactive meta. Like I have no issue at the beginning of Double Shield, especially when it was like, even when it was like super overpowered. It's all just, the meta is being stagnant for so long, or I think is what upsets most people, and I think that's what upset me too, because like it felt really fluid at first when we were getting metas like from season 3 onward, where it's just like Beyblade, uh, Zarya, Hanzo, a little bit more dive after that, and then we get to like goats, and then you get to solo tank, and then you get to duo tank for so long. But like goats and duo tank stand out to me just because of how long they were in comparison to all the rest. I mean, dive arguably was really long too, but dive went through phases of like which DPS were the correct ones to pick. At first it was like Genji Tracer, but then you switch over to like Tracer Widow, and then like Widow Pharah, and or Tracer Pharah too. It was just
I played soldier during that time.
yeah, I mean, it
It
didn't
worked
really
out
feel
for me
like too
great.
many DPS were bad. You could make Hanzo work because like range damage wasn't bad. McCree worked well on good like cough points, as like Pine made very apparent in the league, and like Junkrat was like probably the worst off, maybe with Torb too, and a couple of the other builders really. So like Sim, Torb, and Junkrat, but like it felt okay because characters like that were meant to be, I guess, a little bit like niche. Like you had to find like specific strategies that made them work. So like Sombra being played on Temple, Junkrat being played on Temple, Symmetra being played on Koth points to get to the point faster. That kind of stuff. Like it felt okay because they were like niche strategies anyway. But now it just felt like, with how like ult economy works, is like there's no incentive to switch. Unlike how fast your ults used to charge back when Overwatch initially was like coming out with those patches. So it's just, I don't know. It's a weird spot. I'm sure with all these
Hmm.
like anti goats or post goats patches we're gonna get something cool. But on the note of like anti goats patches and post goats patches and anything like that, who is the character that you think is like the most overpowered right now, and who's the most underpowered right now? So this could be personal or like your team's consensus.
Sweet, I'll let you go first.
No, you go first. Honestly, I
Okay.
need to think a little bit.
Okay. I still think I think the most overpowered right now. I still think it's Widow. I'll be honest with you. I think Widow, like the thing is, if you play against a really good Widow, like I don't care what you do, like he's gonna require so much attention. You're just gonna get your shit fucked. Like Widow's insane. I think not Doom at one point was pretty insane as well. Um, who else? Let me just think for a second. So you asked which one's the most overpowered and who's like really,
Underpowered,
really
yeah.
Yeah,
underpowered?
who's the most underpowered and who's the most overpowered? It doesn't have to be play like percentage. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I see Baptiste the most, he's the most overpowered. It could just be, you could even have like a niche situation in mind. You're like Junkrat on Temple of Anubis. Like, yeah, I see that every time. It works so well, or something. Like, it could be on. It just make it subjective. I guess is just what you personally feel. It doesn't have to be what the game
Yeah.
how the internet or the game tells you to feel. Just you personally.
I think Moira right now. I'll be really honest with you. It's kind of a hot take, but I think like we're going back to like Moira players like screaming in the chat about how they have 4 gold medals. I think it's back again.
I
That's
guess
one
And
thing I don't
dive
miss.
into a little bit more of like why, so we all like get on that same page with you.
okay, so the reason why it's because you can't really play Zen because like there's a lot of people that are playing dive now. So like Monkey's just gonna ruin Zen, and like usually at our elo, like I don't think it's not to insult anybody, but I don't think people are like smart. Like when you're playing in ladder, you're solo queuing. I don't think the whole like 5 other players other than Zen is just like gonna go peel for him. Like so he's gonna get he's gonna get ruined. Um, as well, Baptiste kind of got that nerf of how he shoots, I believe, right? Like it's kind of weird. I think he's a little bit more recoil or something like that, or he can't shoot as fast anymore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's
Um,
recovery time from your shots.
yeah, recovery time. Yeah, so he does. He's not as impactful anymore. Um, yeah, I don't want to. I don't even want to talk about Mercy. I think Mercy is really useless. Lucio's pretty cool. Like, I think like people are gonna be running like Moira Zen, Moira Lucio, and Ana's weird. I don't know. Like I think like it provides a lot of value, but then again, if people play dive again, then you know it's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad for Ana players and like Zen players, or like people like recently, like when I was queuing, like the last few days, like I've seen so much Tracer players. Like I don't know where they came from, but I don't know. I think that, and I think the player that got like destroyed, I think Doomfist is unplayable. Like to a certain extent, it used to be like much better before. Also like characters like if I can just look at the hero gallery quickly, I'm cheating a little bit. I don't know. Hanzo's still fine. Um, I don't know. The builders are weird. Torb Sim are just really weird. They're really niche. Would have been cool if McCree had his thick buff.
Yeah,
You
that was
know,
a
I
bummer.
would have been a big fan. I would have been a big fan.
Yeah,
Would have
Kate
been cool.
Cree is gone.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I think people are gonna go back to Morja. I think that's what's gonna happen.
I've been hearing that a lot too. I think she is the a very shining example of overpowered, where she has like very low skill like floor, or like a very high skill floor, where she like puts in minimal value, gets like exponentially more output than other like supports.
Yeah,
But and like to maintain that value isn't like very difficult. So I think that's like in my mind like overpowered, where it's like Widow technically has like the most like potential to kill, so maybe she would by some be considered overpowered, but it's balanced by like technical skill, right? And
exactly.
potential outplay.
Like if you're bad at Widow, it's 6v5.
Yeah,
But if you're
exactly.
good at Widow, it's kind of like look at it this way: if people are not gonna be running double shield, if they're playing like a classic Ryan Zarya, we'll say, or Ryan Diva. Let's say you're mirroring the Ryan Diva comp, we'll say, per se. You're mirroring Ryan Diva, but your team has a Widow. They don't have a Widow. Your Widow's doing decent. She's getting a pick every now and then. Diva's gonna have the urge to go up there, or like one of the DPS players. If Diva goes up there and like goes to challenge her, then Ryan's by himself. And then if you're playing Ryan Zarya versus a Ryan Diva again, and Diva goes again, then you just bubble Ryan, and then Ryan not dies, but pretty much he has to be like not very aggressive. It's kind of weird. I think Widow's like one of the best heroes in the game. I think Chipsa was right this whole time.
Broken character, dude.
Yeah, broken character.
Uh, well, to me, I think the most overpowered character, I have to agree with Powers. It has to be Widow right now, because since Double Shield's gone, who's gonna block it? It can be Diva, but like it'll be a little bit tougher to go into the back line alone by herself, to get that Widow. So I think Widow's gonna be really really essential in team comps, especially high elos. You know how cracked Widows are in like mastery games and GM games and stuff like that. Maybe
Cracked on
not so
paper.
much for low elos, but the most underpowered character, in my opinion, I'm not biased. It has to be Monkey.
Oh my god, stop it. Stop it. Look. Sway, like, it's not to interrupt you, but Sway wants Monkey to have like a 1 second cooldown on his jump, a 1500 shield, like, that Monkey's fine. Just play Ball.
He's fine, but like it's just like people have been talking about how Ball could be like more of a replacement for him. Like it could be Ball Diva instead of Monkey Diva. And that kind of makes me sad. But
Yeah, I think in
anyway,
the tank department you make an excellent point, because it's like as a Winston player when Dive was around, like I loved it because you get so much freedom
hmm
to express yourself when you're able to like jump in specifically on targets, and pace your engagement the way you want to, unlike Ryan and Orisa where it just kind of happens upon you most of the time. And but there's just no situation, or there are some, but very few, and so not enough to like pick Winston because again, like ult economy kind of dictates who you play. You don't really get to switch too often, but having Wrecking Ball on your team, it just answers so many more questions on average than Winston. And now that Diva's buffed again, especially having the 3-second cooldown on her movement ability, makes it feel like there's just no spot for Winston. Um, but I mean, I've forced him into a couple comps. Like if you have like an Ashe, Winston synergizes with Ashe in my opinion super well because you can bubble her and kind of forget her, and she can just get massive value. And her ult charges super fast when she's pocketed like that, especially tank wise. But if not that, then a Mercy. So it's like if you want to rely on like a hit scan player who can't play Widow but can play Ashe, which is like very few players out there are grinding the Ashe rather than the Widow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still super niche, but yeah, I agree that Winston's fairly underpowered just because of the
Yeah.
skill creep or the power creep to his like to people who also play his position of dive tank. I think in the general of the game, like we're like including DPS and support, I don't think he's like that bad, but it's all relative. Obviously, it's like in your games, Winston not getting value could be different from like my games where like if I play with like a Winston who's just who never got the memo about goats or double shield and just been grinding them out, he could or they could potentially get more value than someone who's picking up Winston to try dive again just for the first time. So of course everything is up to player ability.
Yeah.
Think
It's not like it's not like he needs a buff or a nerf. Of course he doesn't. Like he's already good. It's just like there's just better tanks,
Right.
and that just makes me like I don't know. It makes me worry. It's like what's the point of playing once anymore? But that's what I keep saying all the time. Whenever I dive in, I die. I'm just like what's the point of even playing this guy? But anyways,
the thing is, if McCree had his like 250 HP, like the worst hero in the game probably would have been Tracer. Because then she can't kill him. It just takes way too much bullets to even like kill him. Just his presence himself like is gonna make you want to swap off Tracer.
That's interesting. I mean, I like the Tracer McCree matchup. I think it's like one of the most like honest in the game. It's a little bit lopsided to Tracer, I think, now because with the range increase on her effective damage from a couple patches ago, where it's like Tracer now had to like doesn't have to be just right up in flashbang range to do effective damage. You can kind of be a little bit further back as long as they don't have healing, and if they do, then you could try to jump in for the burst, and you'll probably be okay if you blink correctly. But with the 250 McCree, I was definitely tipping the matchup back in McCree's favor, and it feels kind of weird just to rip that out from one of the McCree players. Like, but I mean, I don't mind because personally, I very much dislike McCree as Wrecking Ball because he just stunning me and doing a bunch of damage, and he's one of the characters I can actually kill really easily if they don't have their stun because his hitbox is really generous when you boop him up with Power Driver. But again,
The thing is
the game's
also
not
like
based around me. So
the thing also as well like McCree also got that buff like of how like fast his gun shoots. So like his stun was forgiving on Tracer. Like you're able to shoot twice and kill her. You know what I mean? For like decently bad McCrees.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I still think there's a lot better Tracer players than there is McCree players. Like, usually
right.
people who play McCree is like I don't know, like to sum it up, like Diamond Elo. Talking for everybody that's in the Diamond, like Masters, low Masters, or like even Plat. Usually, if somebody plays McCree, it's because they're trying to counter a Tracer, counter a Doomfist, or kill a Pharah. Like you'll never play like Hanamura and then have a McCree. Like because you can have better players. You can play Ashe, you can play Widow, you can play like 1,001 different characters who are like have better utility, or even Hanzo. Like for the longest, I don't know, McCree's in a weird spot. Just a weird hero.
Yeah. He's in that like middle of the road, mid range like Buster, where it's like the people who are a little bit more close range than him, being like Tracer and like Reaper, who are just like way better at tank busting and close range engagements, kind of outclass him, and then like the long range also kind of outclass him right now with Widow, Hanzo, and then the people who are still in that mid range poke tend to have better cooldowns than him, like Soldier and
Yeah.
Ashe. So it really is rough out there being the Macowboy, but
I'm happy though, cause like there's also another nerf that should have happened like I don't know, 100 years ago. It's the Reaper lifesteal. He doesn't even need lifesteal as a hero. Like he does so much damage that like you're rewarding. Like Reaper doesn't need that much skill. Right? Like you just gotta just left click, and just sit there. Even like him having lifesteal already is a lot. But it was ridiculous at one point how like I saw a video, it was CarQ or somebody that made it, where like there's a Bob that's on the field, and Reaper just stares at Bob in the face and headshots him, and he's dead, and he still has 250 HP. It makes no sense, So like, I don't know, it's ridiculous.
Well, all I'm happy about is not being stuck in Rissa jail anymore. So
That's nice. I never let myself become the cattle. I'll be honest. I was a little bit too proud. Might have lost us a couple games here or there. I'll be honest, but I'm
mhm.
not I'm not one to play a horse. Um, but it's not even I dislike her. It's just she's completely contrary to how I play tank, so it just never worked. But I liked her when she first came out, when people would combo her with Ryan and you could pull up a Ryan with your Holt and chatter underneath of him. I like that, but aside from that, she's
Yeah.
kind of boring.
Yeah, she's just that necessary character that could just combo everybody, and she would put like she would overvalue every single character, like every single tank,
Mhm.
apart from like Sigma.
The
Yeah,
Holt scenario was ridiculous. Like he
Yeah,
just
Holt into
pulls you
anything.
up in the sky. It's like, oh my goodness.
it was broken.
Like
You won't see that anymore. So
it's funny because like I remember we were in a scrim, and like we had like Truth, which is one of our he was our tank player last year, but now he's in Transcendence tier, so he's the coach for our team, and like he's watching our scrim, and then like we I think we like destroyed the team like on the first map, and then like he was just like everybody did great, even Sway did amazing, but like the only person he kept focusing on was on Sway. He's like, you need to pull for Flame Strike, you need to pull for like Sigma
pull
Frog.
for everything.
Pull for everything. You pull just to pull. You pull for like Dragon. You pull for like literally anything. You pull like, and like so he's like doing it and stuff, and then they're just like no, like pull in the air. So like it takes more time for them to drop down, and then
it
it's like,
was it was really good coaching. Like I became a better Rissa player. I won't
and
lie.
it's funny because like right when like everything is going great, and like Rover's being an insane Sigma, Sway's being an insane Arisa. Like sometimes I play like Hanzo or Mei, and then Sully does the other way around. Like I don't know, depends on what he wants to do. Like I don't mind. And then like Eves is insane Baptiste, and everybody's like
Everybody just
the
popping off, man.
teamwork was just amazing, and it was working out perfectly. And like now they're just like, well, hey guys, I know you've been working on this for quite a while now. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
And
it's
we're
the
just like, okay,
the new meta.
yeah, here you go, new meta.
Whatever it is, who knows?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know. We have a scrim coming up later today. I might play soldier. See what the hell that's about.
Might try to dive, who knows?
It's gonna be
It's a weird spot.
Brig, Genji, Doom, Ana, Winston, Roadhog, new meta.
Brig's good though.
No,
If you
yeah,
play,
total Brig. I honestly really like Brig Ana. I think it's really cool. But
Yeah, as long as
I
Monkey's
saw
in there, I'm
I
fine.
saw a stream. I saw a stream today. I forget who it was, and they're running Ryan's audio double sniper with Baptiste and Brig,
that's kind of
and
mega.
and like their Ryan is being so aggro, and just Brig is just destroying everything. And like they're playing Diva Ryan, the other team, and they got rolled, like absolutely rolled. This is like a GM game. I don't know. Brig players might be happy. I only know one of them in the world. His name's Psych.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I think Brig is in a really good spot. Honestly, I think there isn't really an objectively bad support right now, but I don't think I know a lot of people give Mercy kind of flack, but if she's kind of perfect for like how much skill it takes to play her, where it's like pretty low input but high mobility, so it can be potentially fun for people who like mobility but not like have a high like technical proficiency for aiming. So it's like I think that's a cool niche character that people like that can enjoy. and you can get a lot of value out of, because if you damage pocket a DPS that's like actually pulling their weight, it could kind of carry games. So, but
Oh,
it's situational, sure. So
I was in a game today. I was in a Masters game, and I'm not trying to like big up myself or anything, but I have a decent idea of how to play every single hero in the game. Like I know how they play. Like I kind of know like what to do. But Mercy's the hero that I don't want to learn her. I don't want to do it. Like I just can't. So I was in a game and there's a Pharaoh, and he's like, "Go Mercy, go Mercy," and then I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know." He's like, "No, no, no, like go Mercy. Trust me, we'll win." I go Mercy. I was legit bored. I was bored. It wasn't fun. I was just there, just space shift, left click, right click, and I'm just like, man, like what do I do here? Like what am I doing? And I get Valkyrie, and I'm just like, okay, well, I've seen people like get killed with Mercy. Let me just try this out. And then I look back, my whole team's dead, and I'm like, okay, well, fuck that. I'm not playing this hero. I can't even like E jump, like a little like shift jump.
yeah,
I don't know how to do it.
it's like
Yeah.
hold, crouch, and then press the
Yeah.
jump button after GAing right when you like get to the character you're jumping to. I think. I don't know. I'm not a support player. Someone could correct me in chat or however they
I'd
want
rather,
to.
I'd rather learn a new Doomfist rollout or something.
Yeah, I'm about to say like
Yeah.
that's what stopped me. Is like anytime I'm like, oh, maybe I should learn the super jump today. I'm like, there's like 50 other things I should be working on that isn't a
Yeah.
role I don't play.
Do
Like,
you
do you
want to
guys
know
remember?
something crazy though
Hit me
about
with
this guy, Poggers?
What's up, who?
This guy, he's a DPS player, right?
it.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
he will let you know he's a DPS player,
I'm getting exposed.
but he's masters in tank and support, but he's diamond in DPS.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna lie to you, he's a really good Sigma player.
Look.
Not so much as support.
Anybody who wants to call me boosted, just look at my stats. I'm actually not boosted. I'm dead serious. I don't know how. Like one day, when Moira's meta, I did my placements and I got like 3150 or whatever. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna play support because I'm sick of these 10-minute queue times. So I play like Zen, I play Baptiste, I play Moira, play Anna, and I just get a string of victories. And I'm at 3350 or something. So we four stack, and Sway is about to get the Masters on tank. So we're like, okay, whatever, let's do it. And then like I get the Masters, and I'm just like, okay, well, this is cool, sure. And then I'm like, let's play tank. So Sway's notorious for not wanting to play on his main account. So we're like, he puts his trust in me, right? We win a few games, and I've never played Sigma before. Like a month ago, I've never ever played Sigma. Like I saw the hero, I know what he does, but I'm not playing him. And then like, I think in like 25 games, I had like a 90% win rate. I think I was like 21 and like 21-3 and like maybe 2 draws. It was ridiculous, and like it's not like I was amazing at him. I was just watching streams. I was watching people playing it. You know, you watch Space and like a few people playing it, and you're like, okay, well, let me try it out. And then at one point I'm Masters, and then I'm 3600, and then I'm like, wait, what the hell? And like I still can't play Arisa for my life. I still can't play ball, like, you know. So I just know how to play like some of the classic tanks, but I don't know. And then I play DPS, and it's like the other day I was playing with a few friends, and I had like 60 limbs, 29k damage on Ashe, and we still lost the game. And it's like what the fuck do you need me to do? Like, hello? Like, it's weird. I don't know. I always talk about how like I think they should add like 6, 7, 8 more DPS players before even doing anything on supports and tanks. Because honestly, like, it's getting boring. It's getting boring playing Hanzo every time, playing Mei every time. Like, you want to mix it up and change to like another hero, and like it's like people are like, you're throwing. It's like, well, let me go back to Mei jail. Let me go back to Hanzo jail.
Right.
That's weird.
I feel that for sure. Well, we're getting close to the 8 o'clock mark, so we're gonna have to cut it soon. So any closing remarks, any final sayings?
Well, you asked us a lot of questions. We'd love to ask you maybe like 1 or 2 questions. It'd be great.
Sure.
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna be in the tournament on Wednesday? Starting Wednesday?
The
Like
preseason,
not
yeah,
this one. Yeah, the next one.
yeah.
That's kind of the only question I had.
Oh,
Honestly, I was
okay.
Well, so like you guys asked us like what comps will we be playing and stuff. So what will you guys be playing? Like what's your best?
Anything but what the meta will tell us to play. That is the mantra of Prodigious is
Oh.
whatever the game wants me to play, I won't. So currently, we've been playing a lot of ball comps. I would like to tell you an off tank, but it's a different one every time because there's 3 tank players on
Mhm.
my team and everybody likes different tanks. We have some of us that like 2 off tanks and a main tank, or 2 main tanks and an off tank. No one kind of adheres to the conventional rules, so it's hard to make comps, but that makes it more fun because we get to be a little bit more creative. Um, I would tell you a little bit more about our supports, but we kind of lost 2 supports like hyper recently, so we're in the process of trying ones out. Um, but we do have my boy Poet who does love a good Lucio, so I can tell you that. And DPS wise, we like the old school, the Widows, the Tracers, the McCrees, the Hanzos, the Genjis. We don't all these new DLC. It's not us.
we don't
Mm.
we didn't pay for that DLC. F that.
No, we didn't. We didn't get that. We haven't got that one yet.
I remember. I think when we streamed you guys, I think you guys did Zarya Hog. I think, and we're just all there on King's Row running our meta shit that we're all used to. We're like Ryan Arisa on King's Row with like Mei Hanzo, Baptiste, and like Zen. Or like no, we had Baptiste Brig, I think. And we're just there and we're like I think you guys messaged us ahead of time saying, look, we're trying out new stuff, blah blah, blah whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, you know. And I see Hog Zarya and I'm, like my brain just had question marks. I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, what do we do? Like, do we just stand here? Like, do we like go into them? Like, what the fuck do we do? It was weird.
That's
And
what
like I didn't know what to do.
That's our goal. Is that we're not necessarily trying to pick up every dub, but we're trying to make other teams be like, what? That's all. That's really the goal. So I'm glad we at least got there.
No, trust me, the whole team was just like confused. It was like a big confusion mark that was going on.
That's cool. I'm excited for the preseason tournament to start up and we can get streaming going again in the community so we can meet all the new teams and get back into the swing of things.
Mhm.
Heck yeah. Well, we'll sign off on that. So any last words?
Um. Well, Tailwind. You guys know how Comet was #1 last season, right? We're taking that spot.
Oh,
Coming for all of you.
nice.
That's
All
it.
right.
As long as Sway doesn't feed his brain out, you know, and doesn't just get tilted off the face of the earth, like I think we'll be fine.
Okay, man.
But if he keeps feeding, oh boy,
Perfect.
oh
All right.
boy.
Peace out, everybody.